Welcome back to the Daily Thunder podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Woods. I'm here, as always, with Daily Thunder beat writer Brandon Rahbar. Brandon, how are you tonight?
I'm good. Tonight was a perfect game, so I am in a good mood tonight.
The Thunder dropped from the 4 seed to the 5 seed tonight, so I don't know what you mean by perfect night.
Well, it was perfect because the Thunder were competitive. They were entertaining. The young guys showed out, and it came down to the wire, but they lost. So it's good for the tank, but it was aesthetically pleasing to watch, and there was lots of promise and excitement for the future.
That's one thing I was going to ask you pretty early on was, is this the perfect Thunder game for this 2021 season?
Yeah, spoiler alert, I got to write an article for dailythunder.com when we get off of here, and that's basically going to be my premise. This was the template for the perfect game. It couldn't have gone – the only way this could have gone better was if Poku would have played better, if he would have hit some shots, at least a shot would have been nice. But other than that, the young guys looked great, almost won. It was fun to watch. Horford and Hill continue to maintain their trade value, but you lose, you tank, and bonus, Houston lost again. They're 0-2, so, you know, the Thunder owned their draft pick as well, so just a chef's kiss kind of night.
Totally, and as it stands now, and we'll be tracking this for you guys all year long, that Houston pick is top 4 protected, and it currently sits at 6. So there are very few negatives that can come out of tonight, unless you were looking for that Shea layup to go in, which it just about climbed over the rim. What was your angle on that, and what did you see on that last play?
Yeah, so I was in the arena. I will be honest, you can probably tell as far as like real time goes, you can probably tell when it's a tough shot like that off the backboard. When you're in the arena, your view of it isn't as good as it is on TV. So it's almost like you wait for the reaction from the players since there's no crowd in there now. And so for a moment there, I thought it was going in. And honestly, even though I say it was a perfect night and I'm glad that the Thunder lost a fun, competitive game, when it comes down to a Shea game-winning shot, I wanted him to make it, even though it was better for the Thunder for him not to.
Yeah.
Just the narrative and how fun it would have been the first 2 games in a tanking season. Shea, the new face of the franchise, hits game-winning shots in the final moments. That would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's just such an interesting range of emotions for Thunder fans this year because typically that's a devastating miss at the buzzer against a divisional opponent. And this year it's like, well, all right, we did it. And it's so interesting trying to feel like losses are okay. That's a very new thing. And I would say Thunder fans have been very fortunate for this to be a new feeling, because this is not a new feeling for a lot of franchises and a lot of fan bases where losing is advantageous. But this year it is. And for that shot to almost creep in, I'm with you. I found myself wanting it to go in more than anything else.
You can't help yourself. Like the gut and instinct and heart just takes over. Like your brain can think one thing and your heart's like, nah, forget you, man. I'm going rogue. I want that shot to go in. I want a Shea game winner again.
Yes. And here's why I wanted it to go in the most. That was a gorgeous design by Coach Mark Dagnall. Just gorgeous. I would say it's a very new thing for the second option on a final Thunder play to get a pretty good look at the rim. We're lucky if that's option number 1, and usually it's not. Option number 1 was Horford, ball into Horford, and George Hill running a beeline to the rim. And on replay, I know that window was probably open for just a split second and it closed quickly, but he had him. Hill had beaten his defender, and if Horford makes that shovel pass, it is a wide open layup.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. And I get, like you said, why Horford didn't do it. You can see it, and it takes sometimes a moment to react, and then the moment's gone. If you have to think about it instead of just going by instinct. So I get it, but man, I would have liked to see what would have happened if he would have hit that pass.
Given how good of a look it was going to be, are we sure Horford isn't in on the tank?
Yeah, that's true. Maybe he had instructions. Dagnold is telling him one thing, but then Presti like gets on in his ear
Yeah,
and
he's
is
got an
telling him
earpiece.
another thing like, hey, do not pass. You find the most crowded, defended, congested guy and make the
Yeah,
pass to that guy. I do
yeah,
not want to start out 2-0. The Thunder don't even usually have a second option. There's probably usually written up a second option, but usually what happens historically is whatever the first option is, no matter how guarded, defended it is, and how far away from the basket is, there's never going to be an option number two. Whether it was Kevin Durant or Russell Westbrook 30 feet away from the bucket and taking a shot with two guys in their faces, that's what was going to happen no matter what. So
absolutely.
it was exciting to see them go to a second option and see that that can actually happen now, even
Yeah,
though it didn't turn out the way that we wanted to.
yeah, and it produced a really good look, a layup that could have gone in 100%. We've gone a little too long without mentioning Lou Dort, and by henceforth, when he plays like this, it's Game 7. Dort, what did you see from Lou tonight?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. That game 7 against the Houston Rockets, where he played all world defense on James Harden, this time
Mm-hmm.
all world defense on Donovan Mitchell. And then on the other end, he's just dropping threes like crazy.
Yeah,
I know he had a 30-point game in the playoffs, game 7, but tonight he had 26 points, which was his new career high in the regular season. Hit 5 threes, including the clutch three that put the Thunder ahead again with just over a minute left,
mm-hmm.
and looked like it could be the game-winning shot had Donovan Mitchell not hit a really tough bank shot, driving bank shot that was well defended by Lou Dort. I mean, Lou
Mm-hmm.
Dort was fantastic tonight. You know, through 2 games, and I know it's a small sample size, I get that, but he scored 15 and 26. He's averaging 20.5 per game. He's shooting 45.5% from three. That's not going to be sustainable. He's not going to shoot like that the rest of the season. He's not going to score like that the rest of the season. But it's a preview of what he's capable of. And if that's the ceiling, I think his average when he comes down and plays like the mean of whatever the mean of Lou Dort is,
Yeah,
that looks like it's going to be pretty nice.
yeah.
He looks like a double-digit scorer that's capable of hitting threes at a decent pace and playing all NBA defense.
So, question for you. This will be our question for the night. Aside from a couple week stretch, spring of 2016, is what we're seeing from Lou Dort, is this better than Andre Robertson at any point?
That's a great question. Okay, so Lou Dort is playing incredible defense. He really is. But Dre in his prime played like he was the best defender in the league. I don't care.
Could
You
not
know, I know
agree more. The
Kawhi, I
best.
know
The
Draymond
best.
Green, I know Rudy Gobert. They got
Mhm.
the accolades, but Dre was truly the best perimeter defender in the league when he was in his prime. Now, obviously, offensively, he started to work on those screening on offense and cutting, and he had that lob down with Russ. He never shot, except for in the playoffs, never shot like Lou Dort has. Overall player, I would say it's close. It's comparable, but man, I don't want to give it to Lou quite yet because Dre in his prime, his defense was
Special.
just otherworldly.
Special. He hit a level defensively in the year that he got hurt. It seemed like he was headed for minimum first team All NBA defense, and I think he was right up there for Defensive Player of the Year. He had reached a new level on that end in that season, and they needed it. You could see what happened to that team as soon as he went down.
Yeah, when
Um,
you looked at the numbers that season, it was incredible. The on and off and the plus minus with Dre and especially the defensive numbers. And he
yeah.
had to cover up for Carmelo Anthony. But yeah, I think Dre was the front runner
Mhm.
maybe at that point for defensive player of the year. And I just hate that his career got cut short because he
Totally.
was playing the best of his
Yeah.
entire career at that point.
So Mitchell tonight ended with 20 points. Took him 23 shots to get there. He was 8 of 23. He was 2 of 10 from the 3-point line. He was a -4 for the game. That's all you can do against a player like Mitchell is make it as tough as you can on him and try and force him into an inefficient night, and that's what Dort did. And if Dort's going to be able to take on that challenge night after night, we're going to say it over and over until something changes. But this team is going to be competitive just about every night when they bring this type of effort. Shea ended with 23.7 assists, 3 rebounds. It was a +4 in 36 minutes. He didn't shoot the ball well from 3, but 9 of 21 overall. I mean, he had a very productive night, and like you're saying, almost he had a chance to send him home for the second straight game.
I think that overall Shea had a really nice game. He had a few go down layups and a jump shot, I think, that were taken off. Really looked like continuation that he didn't get on a couple of those.
Yeah.
Honestly, besides his outside shooting, he had a really nice night. I think he played a good game overall. This team has just been really impressive. These young guys, I haven't mentioned Baisley yet, but Baisley had another really nice night offensively and defensively. He didn't force himself into the offensive side as much as he did game one. He was still a really nice player on both sides. I mean, the three guys that returned have been really good. So have Horford and Hill. And then Maladone was better tonight. He looked more like the preseason Teo Maladone that we had seen.
A lot more confident, a lot more sure of himself, a lot more comfortable on the floor. He's a very quick guard for his size, and that was something that was said about him coming into the draft and post-draft. But he really is such a quick guard and a great player getting into the lane and finding guys. I think Poku's gonna feast off of, as the year goes on, off of Teo getting into the lane. I thought that's another thing I was so impressed with Shea tonight and through two games, really, is his decision making. Once he gets in the lane, he looks very comfortable, even more so than last year. Last year, he tended to get up in the air for a pass that he just made himself a bit more predictable in the lane. But tonight in game one against Charlotte, just great decision making once he gets in the lane, finding guys. Baisley, it just seems like every time he looks his way, Baisley is wide open. And Baisley's going to continue to improve on that end, hitting those shots. And his shot honestly looks great to me. The shot looks much improved and so much more comfortable. So really pumped what we're seeing from Shea as the lead guard. We talked a lot about that last year. Is that his true position? And this year they are really pushing that.
I think Shea's been great through the first two games. He took on a Charlotte team that's, I think, a little bit better than people thought, and they won. He was the lead guy.
Yeah.
Again, he was the lead guy tonight, and they almost were leading for most of the way against a team that's going to make the playoffs in the West, probably as a mid-tier playoff team. And Shea just looks the part. He's still young. He's still improving. He's still learning. I love that he's driving and kicking. He's finding guys. He's finding open guys. He could have had a lot more assists both tonight and game one than he's had guys made wide open shots. But really, besides his outside shooting, I don't know how you could have any sort of criticism against what Shea's done. He's picking the right spots. He's making smart decisions. And his effort on D has been good. You know, he's still kind of slight, but his effort, it's been noticeable to me, has been better than last season. He's fighting around and through screens more. He's not lazy on that side this season.
He had a rough defensive series against Houston, and he wasn't the only one, but it just seemed like the spotlight was on him to perform, and he just wasn't up to par on that end in that series. So it's good to see him getting after it a bit more on that end for sure. Just a comment on the Jazz. I just was not all that impressed with them tonight, and through their first couple games, they're 2-1. But it just seems like that team is still trying to figure things out, getting Bogdanovich back in the lineup. But what did you see from them? It just felt like their effort overall it felt like the Thunder was just outpacing them for most of the night.
And I think that's going to be why the Thunder are competitive and fun this season, because the effort apparently is going to be there every single night. I think between the young guys being hungry and just having that kind of character where they're going to fight and it's kind of instilled in them. And then the vets like Horford and Hill are the same way. So I think that's why they're going to be in most games until they're just completely outclassed and outmanned. That'll happen some nights. But as far as the Jazz go, I think that it's going to happen a lot too, where probably Utah just kind of expected to show up and win because everybody knows that the Thunder are a tanking team. And, you know, last year they show up and they see Chris Paul and Gallo and Schroeder and Adams. Year before that, they see Russ and Paul George. They show up this year, they see Shea. Oh, and there's Horford. And, Dort's kind of a nice story. They're human. These two all-stars, Mitchell and Gobert, and then these really solid role players, Mike Conley and Bogdanovich, they show up and they see what is supposed to be a bye week, basically a bye game, and they kind of probably play like that. So the Thunder are going to catch a lot of teams sleeping. I don't know if Presti wants them to, but they're going to catch some teams sleeping.
No question. I'd like to end with that money George Hill quote that you got tonight. Do you have that on hand? I hate to put you on the spot.
No, that's all right. I'll pull it up. And I'll cut this in editing, and so it sounds like I just boom had it right away.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Such a pro.
Yeah, I got this. Okay. Yeah, I got it right here. George Hill.
We'll do it again. We'll do it again. We'll do it again.
Yeah, dude, I got it right here. Your wish is my command. On call. George Hill with the quote of the night. He said, "We play to win. That's Oklahoma City basketball. Win or loss, we represent this city, and this city represents us." Like, being on the other side of that media call when he said that, I'm like, this dude hasn't even been here for very long, but he's right. That's what OKC is known for. They've been a winning culture for so many years.
Yeah, we are going to wrap it there. Brandon, thank you so much. We are back tomorrow night with the Thunder taking on the undefeated Orlando Magic. That's right. You heard it. Undefeated Orlando Magic. We will talk to you tomorrow night, Thunder fans. Again, thank you, Brandon.
Absolutely, man. Always fun.